planet Earth, 'tis I. That makes a nice change from being, in shirtless or in pyjamas or lazy clothes. You've actually caught me in vaguely formal attire. I like it. Attire. Get it? Tie? Heh. Joke is lost. So, today, at work, we've just come back. Been in 11 till 7. Because we were setting up for a lovely looking parenting conference. And I wrote another song for Sphinx. I thought it was a done album. As in I thought I'd written all 8 tracks. Turns out, 9-track album. It's very strange. When I was coming up with the concept of the album, I had a very interesting thought about what the songs would sound like, what the general vibe for the album was, and I threw together a bunch of random song titles I have. The way I function is that if I think of a cool song title, I'll stick it in a notepad file and forget about it. So if ever I'm stuck for a title of a song, or even a subject of a song, I'll go through there, pick out something that really jumps out at me that relates to the song that I've written, and go for it. And this time, when I've got the vibe of the album in my head, I threw together 9 names from this list that sounded really cool. A few of them I'd already linked to a couple of riff ideas and songs I'd already had. But for the most part, well, not for the most part, for about a third of the song, it was a blank canvas, so to speak. And so it came to just setting up the mixing for the album. As in, I've written all the songs, recorded the bass tracks, as in the underlying tracks, not the bass tracks. And yeah, I was looking through the track listing today. It turns out I'd conceived of 9 songs and I'd only produced 8, and so today, a nothing to do day, I've sort of gone through all of my to-do list, and I couldn't really do a lot more because of the companies that we're in. So I spent about 40 or 50 minutes writing this song. That sounds like an abysmally short time, but it's not, I swear. Especially when it all just kind of falls into place. My usual songwriting time is about 3 or 4 hours. And yeah, it's called The Screeching Clock. It's... Considering this will all make sense posthumously, but basically, the album is sort of, if I was going off into some sort of split hybrid from The Alien Head, which is the album I've recently done, Music to Mars, which is album number 2 for all intents and purposes, is sort of the lighter, fluffier side. Almost poppy, in a sense, of the Alien Head. Still metal, still down-tuned, but it's very catchy, very danceable. And the stuff on Sphinx is a lot darker. Cold incoming. That was rude. It's a lot darker, a lot more guitar-based, a lot heavier, more grungier. So... the writing style is vastly different from what I'm used to as well. It's a mix of the death metal elements that I like to write into my music, and the almost dancey, low-tuned Fear Factory-esque metal I also like. And it's got a lot more progressive and a lot more kind of for a few more songs than I think would be acceptable for the album. So I wrote the Screeching Clock, sorry, English, to kind of counteract this progressive wacky side. So it's fairly simple riff, simple structure, catchy chorus, which I tried to veer away from with writing the lyrics of the album, because I wanted it to be, more about the musicality of it. I'm hopefully going to be able to twin with a female singer, if I have my way. The singer who loaned her voice for A Devious Gain on the Alien Head. I'd love for her to duel on most, if not all, the songs. But just live sort of hundreds of miles away, so not hundreds of miles away, just up the road really. But it's far enough that we contact each other over the internet. So it would need to be an arranged thing, and the scheduling just blows my mind at the minute for what the album currently is. And what it currently is 9 songs that have the first layer of guitars, a bass MIDI, all the drums mapped out, and some lyrics. And I want to get to a point where I've done all the guitars, done all of the lyrics, as in put mine down, and probably the female vox. More keys and key solos. I've written 2 more key solos for this album. Yeah, and basically, then I want to get into a position where I can fully mix it and then send it out. And the female vocals are really sort of the major ambition point. The major ambition point of Music to Mars, the other album I'm doing, the more positive version, is that I'm wanting gang vocals, as in I know a couple of groups who could help me out with sort of chanting at a particular frequency I'm after, sort of the mids and mid to highs. And I want that on a few songs, not all of them, but I've labelled it up on my little graph that's just over there as backing vox. Which will probably be a little bit more than that, especially in Rabbit Love Run. There's a couple of other chanty sections that I want them in for, but apart from that, yeah. So it's female vox on Sphinx and the gang vocals on Music to Mars. 2 albums I'm more or less producing side by side. And a third that's been worming its way through for the past 2-3 years. That's just like a full-on death metal, aggressive, angry experience that I'm building up to. I can't just go onto it and scream because I'll kill myself. It's sort of 250, 280 beats per minute kind of speed of music right up until the last song, and there's a couple of small 4-minute interludes in it here and there and about there-ish. I think the slowest song is about marching tempo. Oh wow, what a whistler. Oh. Smell-o-vision users, I suggest you unplug. So yeah, that's the thing that's happening as these 2 draw to a close. I'm hopefully going to lock myself in a nice big room and lay out all of the equipment I need, and just for a week, just 9 to 5, plough through and fucking do it. And that would be glorious if I can get that done. But these 2 albums first. Now hopefully they'll all go up on iTunes and all the other buying stores and Amazon and all that shit. So yeah, I wouldn't do that with the Alien Head. That was much more of a rush job. But yeah, so that's my day. I wrote a song, I summarised an album. Yeah, and I'm wearing a tie, so love it. I'm going to take all of this off now that I'm done with this, and cook some chicken nuggets. So yeah, living the dream, baby, living the dream.